I'm going to show you guys how I make my delicious creamy cheesy macaroni and cheese. And this is the perfect recipe for the holidays. For the ingredients, you're going to need 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 tablespoons of flour, 4 ounces of cream cheese, 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon, half a teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. We're also going to need 32 ounces of half and half. We're going to need 2 8-ounces Colby Jack cheese, 4-ounce sharp cheddar, 8-ounce smoked Gouda. And it is important for a delicious creamy macaroni cheese to shred your own cheese. We're also going to be using a 2-pound box of pasta. And I'm not going to use all of it. But to my boiling water, I'm going to add some salt. And I'm going to add my pasta in the water. And I'm just going to let this cook uncovered. I'm going to mix it. And make sure you guys are mixing every minute, because your pasta will stick. I just followed the instructions on the back of my box on how long to cook the macaroni noodles. I drained my pasta and set it to the side. Now we're going to make our cheese sauce. In a pot on medium heat, I'm going to add in 4 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to mix that together until it's melted. Next, I'm just going to sprinkle in my 4 tablespoons of flour, and you want to quickly mix. And you want to make sure that your butter and flour mixture does not have any clumps of flour in it, so you want to really mix. And I'm just going to mix and let this cook for about 1.5 minutes, because you want to cook off the flour. Now I'm just going to whisk in the seasonings, and I'm just going to whisk that for about 30 seconds. And now we're going to add in the half and half. As I add the half and half, I mix so that I would have a smooth cheese sauce. So I'm just adding in my half and half slowly, and I'm just mixing. And you can see it here that it is going to get thicker. And you guys can also use heavy cream if you would like. I've used that before when I made my macaroni and cheese. Now I'm just going to add in my cream cheese, and you want to cut your cream cheese into small blocks so that it's easier for it to melt down. And you want to make sure your cream cheese is at room temperature, because if the cream cheese is cold, it's going to create lumps in your sauce. So after I've mixed the cream cheese, as you can see, it has gotten thicker, and I'm going to add the remaining half and half, and I'm just going to mix. You don't want your cheese sauce too thick, or your macaroni and cheese won't be right. So I'm just going to add a handful of cheese, and I'm just going to let this melt. And like I said, my eye is on medium heat. You do not want your eye on high, or your cheese sauce will not be right. It'll just burn, and you want to take this process slow. So the cheese is nice and melted. I'm just going to add in some more, and I ended up adding about 2 to 3 handfuls of cheese, and I saved the remaining cheese for the top. Now I have my noodles in my bowl. I'm just going to pour over my cheese sauce, and I'm just going to mix. At this point, my cheese sauce was a little too thick, and I did add some more milk. But I'm just going to mix this and make sure it is coating every noodle. I added in the remaining cheese sauce, and I'm just going to mix it again. And this is how it looked. It was super cheesy and delicious. This is the perfect recipe for the holidays. But I'm just going to mix it. And at this point, like I said, I added more milk. So this is how it looks after I added more milk. And I'm also going to go in with a little bit of salt and pepper. Like I said, you guys have to taste as you go. If your macaroni and cheese needs more salt and pepper, then add more salt and pepper. Just start off with a little bit of seasonings first, and then taste to see what you need. Now to my greased pan, I'm going to add in my macaroni and cheese. I'm going to add 1 layer, and I'm just going to add cheese in between that layer. I'm just going to sprinkle over the remaining cheese. After I add a generous amount of cheese in the middle, I'm going to add the rest of the macaroni and cheese on top, and I'm just going to spread it out, as you can see me doing here. And at this point, this macaroni and cheese was so delicious. I had tasted it. Now I'm just going to sprinkle over the remaining cheese on top, and I'm going to add little sprinkles of smoked paprika. You want to have your oven preheated to 425, and we're going to allow this macaroni and cheese to bake for 10 minutes. We don't have to bake it that long because it doesn't have any eggs. And this is how it looks once it came out. It was super cheesy and delicious. And I'm going to show you guys the cheese pull. This is how good it looked. It looks as good as it tastes. And this is the perfect recipe for the holidays. I hope you guys try this recipe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And make sure you're subscribed. Adios.